everyone, welcome. This is Mompreneurs to Millionaires. So glad you are here. Today we are talking about how to boost engagement. So tell me below, do you struggle with engagement? Right? Give me a little wave or a thumbs up if you're here. I think engagement is a huge thing, right? It definitely is something everyone is talking about. We all feel like, often we feel like we are posting and hoping. Anyone tell me if you feel like you are posting and shouting into the void and no one is responding, right? That is the worst. Tell me if you feel like you are posting and hoping. That is a cycle that I think so many entrepreneurs get stuck in, right? You're not alone. And we're going to talk about it. So definitely stick around. We're going to talk about what to post as well as how to get it converting for your business, right? It's one thing to post. That's great, right? We can post all day long. Content typically is not the problem that I see. It is engagement and then how to get it converting for you. So to me, that is the bigger challenge, not what to come up with, but how to get it converting, right? That's really, I think, the bigger question. So we're going to talk about both of those things. We're going to talk about two different places to post. So one is inside your Facebook group and two is outside of your Facebook group. So outside of your Facebook group would be your page, your profile, Instagram, any of those other social media profiles that would be outside of your Facebook group. I call those much more like a broadcast, right? It's going to be different types of content outside of your Facebook group as opposed to inside your community of loyal supporters and ideal clients. So we're going to talk about those two different types of content and tips on how to get each of those converting for you. All right, so stick around. It's going to be good. First of all, thanks so much to everyone who voted. Every week I put out a poll in my group, Mompreneurs to Millionaires. I put out a poll on what we should talk about. So if you feel like there is a burning question for your business, if you feel like there is something that keeps coming up for your business that you're like, if I could just get a little knowledge on this or dive into this topic a little bit deeper, that could really move my business forward. So tell me below if you have any suggestions on topics that you'd like to talk about. Every week I put out that poll, so you can also just vote on that poll each week inside the Facebook group, or you can always suggest on that poll another topic for discussion. So today the winning topic was how to boost engagement. So let me know if you're watching on the live, just say live below, or let me know if you're watching on the replay, just say replay below. I'd love to know who's coming in the day of and who's coming in a little bit later. Awesome. Okay, so with that, I know you are a go-getter, right? You are here to gain some type of knowledge, some little nugget, some little tip that is going to move your business forward. So I invite you to put on your abundance crown. I call it a crown because you are a goddess. Everybody has a god, every woman has a goddess within her, and you have the power to change, right? So with that crown, I invite you to really open your mind to some new knowledge. What if there is something, if you're here wanting little nuggets, right? Obviously you are here to help your business. So if you feel like there is something that could be different, thought of in a different way, if you have an aha moment, I would love to hear 2 action items that you get from today's video. Just 2 pieces of either something new that you hadn't thought of or an action that you are going to take in your business. I would love to hear. Just tell me below, or you can always reach out to me privately. But I would love for you to get something out of this, right? You're spending a few minutes with me here hoping to learn something. I want you to get something out of it. And I want to know what is useful, right? If these videos are impacting you, or if you are taking away anything that is actually going to help your business, I want to know. I want to know about it. So tell me below. So with that crown, right, to me, abundance means that all things are possible. You have the power to change your life. If your life is not the way you want it, if your business is not the way you want it, newsflash, no one is coming to save you, right? It is up to you, unfortunately. But lean on the people in your support system, right? Create a support system, learn from those who have gone before you. I always say, don't waste years like I did. Learn from the people who have made all the mistakes. I made all those mistakes so that you don't have to, right? I want to get you to your goals faster, so definitely lean on others. I think that is the easiest way to up-level your business, right? And you are resourceful. I know you could do it on your own, but it is going to take much longer. I was there, right? I wasted years doing it myself, trial and error, downloading free material, taking another low-ticket free course, I tried for years, right? Newsflash, it never happened until I invested in myself, in my business, that I could finally see some movement and up-level my business. So to me, that is the biggest takeaway, is that coaches use other coaches, right? If you want to be a successful coach and you want to up-level your business, learn from those who have made all the mistakes, right? If you're new at this and you feel it daunting, it's a daunting task, I would argue don't try to do it yourself, right? Don't waste years like I did. That definitely, I wasted years. I don't want you to get there slower than you need to, right? I want to get you there quicker. Let's fill in those gaps with your knowledge. All right, so if you are at all interested in any kind of strategy, feel free to say strategy below. Or if you have a Facebook group, you know I'm a big believer in Facebook groups. If you've spent any amount of time here, feel free to say VIP. I have a VIP challenge that I would love to share more with you about. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. But definitely feel free to just say VIP if you're interested in the fast track. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to boost engagement. Really quickly, as a quick background, if you're new here, my name is Christina, and I have been in business for over a decade helping other businesses. I always say I started my first little entrepreneurial spirit back when I was 12 years old, right? Babysitters, tell me where the babysitter's at. But my first little Etsy shop was in 2010. So my babies were little, and I, actually before even babies, I started my Etsy shop, and then when babies came, it really became my thing, my outlet, right? It really needed to start turning a profit. So that Etsy shop, I really quickly realized, oh my gosh, it's so much harder to be seen online, right, than I thought it was. I thought I could just set up shop, have the right pictures, have the right products, and boom, people would buy. Much harder, right? Anyone else come to that realization? So I learned then, if you build it, they don't just come, right? Unfortunately, you can't just set up shop and people will show up. Fast forward to 2014, my husband and I opened a little bike shop, coffee shop, and it was so much fun. Again, we thought we had the perfect colors, products, service, coffee, all the things, location, and we thought people would just show up. They didn't. Newsflash, right? It is always hard, I think, to set something up and hope. To me, that is where we get stuck in this posting and hoping, right? We build a perfect social media profile, we build a perfect website, we create the course, we build the thing before we have someone to buy the thing, right? We think if we build it, then people will come. Sometimes it's much harder, right? I wish it were that easy, for sure. So again, I was smacked in the face with that lesson at the bike shop. You have to go to them, right? You really have far more power than that. You are a goddess, like we said. You have far more power. You can go to your audience, figure out where they hang out, go to them, reach out to them, be direct. I think that is much harder. As women, we're not taught to be direct, and we're certainly not taught sales skills, right? So that's another thing I love working with my clients on, because I think women are traditionally not taught sales skills. We're not even encouraged to learn sales skills, right? Sales is a dirty word. Nobody wants to be salesy. Nobody wants to be sold to, but you have far more power than that. If you have a business and you have a burning desire inside your soul to serve people and help people, there is a place for you to feel aligned about selling. To me, it is more about serving, right? You are serving your clients. You are not selling a product. If you are selling a product, right, you can think about that as serving as well. But more often than not, you are offering a service and you want to serve your clients. So if you can just take that little mindset shift of I'm serving, not selling, by not being direct or not telling them about what I have to offer, it's something I know they need, right? You are doing them a disservice if you are not being direct or telling them how you can help them, because they need you, right? You know they need you. So it is up to you, right, to find a place. And I love working with clients on that. That is something we definitely work on as far as mindset and finding an aligned sales stance that makes you feel good about following up, makes you feel good about being direct, makes you feel good about offering your services, right? There's a place for every woman to feel aligned in serving her clients without feeling salesy, right? Sales does not have to be a bad word. We can find a place where you feel good about that. So if that's at all something you want to talk about, definitely feel free to reach out. Okay, So at the bike shop, right, sadly we had to close after just a couple of years, but what was really successful at that bike shop was our Facebook group. You know, here I love talking about Facebook groups. We had created a Facebook group where we held events in person. So obviously this was a brick and mortar store at the bike shop. So we created a Facebook group so that we could hold events, go on bike rides, have people come to the shop. We had, you know, free beer and wine events at the shop, vendor events, all kinds of different events at the shop. And so that Facebook group was such a success. In fact, I always say it's been 10 years since we closed that shop, right? We closed the shop in 2016. Here we are 10 years later. There are still people getting together in that Facebook group going on bike rides, right? To me, that is such a testament to this idea of community. So many people want to be seen, heard, and feel like they belong, right? Everybody wants to find their tribe, right? And there's no reason that you can't create that tribe around your business of loyal supporters that want to be along on this journey with you, right? They want to support you. They are not sure that they have the problem you offer or that the result that you offer, but they're interested, right? Get them supporting you along in this journey to figure out how you can serve them, what resonates with them, and all of those things. So really building that community to me is such a life lesson that we all want to be a part of something, right? We all want to feel like we belong, and we all want to be seen. And to me, that is the easiest place to gather your people is in a Facebook group. So that's what I love. It took me years to figure this out for my own coaching business, right? After the bike shop closed, I turned it into my passion because I thought if there are other women business owners who also are struggling to be seen, be heard, and get their business out there, couldn't we all learn from each other, right? So it took me many years to remember that lesson, that the Facebook group was the easiest place to build that community around your business. So that is my big motto in life, is that if we can all learn from each other, we can all get there faster, right? We rise together. That is my plan. I'm moving up and I'm bringing you with me. So definitely let me know if you agree with that, right? I would love to hear. Okay, so Facebook groups I think is definitely one of the most underutilized tools online at the moment, right? I think so many people feel like, okay, Facebook groups had their day and now it's over, right? I don't think that's true at all. I don't think Facebook groups are dead. I think there are a lot of dead Facebook groups, but it doesn't mean yours has to be, right? If you feel like you have a Facebook group that is not getting engagement, right? Or you feel like it has gone silent, or you just don't feel like anyone is interacting inside your group and you want it to be, there are definitely some tools and tactics that we can do to get it reinvigorated again. It's not completely dead. I don't think any Facebook group is completely dead. If you all have questions, feel free to reach out. And I do offer that VIP challenge. So the VIP challenge is 5 days of videos with me in Messenger. So I'll send you each day video and we talk about how to apply each of my 5-step framework on how to grow your group, 50 members in 5 days, on how to grow that. And we talk about how to apply it to your business. So this is a great place to start if you are thinking about opening a Facebook group, or if you feel like your Facebook group has, like I said, gone silent, or you feel like it's dead, right? This is a great next step to try the VIP challenge. It's just $27 and you get me in your back pocket for 5 days where we get to apply it to your specific business. So it's customized help as well as my 5-step framework. So feel free to just say VIP if you're at all interested in that. Okay, so now to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about 2 different types of posts. So I call the first type the broadcast, right? And this is what many people start with and are doing currently. And it's great, right? This is on your Facebook page or your Facebook profile, or, you know, any other social media profile where it is your business profile, where you are broadcasting yourself, right? You are saying, this is what I am, here's my story, this is me, this is what I offer, right? I call this the Christina show, right? And absolutely, it should be about your business. It should be about you. It should be about your business. Absolutely. Tell people about your business. That's the first step, right? I often see this. People are like, I don't know why my social media isn't working. And I'm like, I don't even know what you do. If I couldn't figure out what you do in 2.2 seconds on your social media profile, there's a place to start. Absolutely, right? That's where people are typically going to go if they are interested in, if they see something that you said or something that you offered, they're going to go to your profile and check you out. So I call this a placeholder, right? It's definitely more of a broadcast. You're making sure people know who you are and what you do. That's important. So that's the first kind of post. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to move into the Facebook group inside your Facebook group, which I think should be completely different content. Not to overwhelm you, I am all about less. Less is more, right? If you feel like you are not being consistent and you just need to be more consistent, to me, consistent sounds like more. Why would you do more of something if it's not working, right? You need to start taking away some things. If things aren't working, if you don't have enough clients, if you don't have enough money, if you don't feel like your business is where you want it to be, let's talk, because there are some things that I guarantee you are doing that are not effective. And there are some things you could be doing that would be more effective. So definitely let's talk if you feel like you are too busy, but you also don't have enough clients or money. Let's talk about it. Okay, so with that, on the broadcast type posts, right? This is on your social media profiles, on your business page. The 3 tips that I think would help this be more effective and be more converting. So the first step is to really think about a schedule, right? Yes, consistency probably matters to some extent, but if posting every day is too hard and you haven't been able to do it, forcing yourself to do it is not going to fix the problem, right? Stick to a schedule. So whatever that is, if it's 3 times a week and you feel good about that, just let yourself know that that's enough, right? 3 times a week is plenty. Once a week would probably be fine. If you are overwhelmed and not getting enough clients, start with once a week. I would start posting less. If you are overwhelmed with posting and creating content, stop creating content. You need to figure out a different strategy in order to be seen, be heard, right? And get people to rally around you. And to me, there's a far better way than just putting out a bunch of more content. Yes, you can work on your message and you can curtail your words and you can perfect your posts. But to me, that is a much longer game, right? You can have the perfect post, and again, you are up against the algorithm. This is the reason to not put all your eggs in the content basket, right? I don't believe that content is converting. I believe relationships are actually what is going to get you paying clients. So if you feel like your content is not working and you're overwhelmed with content, stop creating content. Try something new, right? If you're too busy creating content and it's not working, stop creating content. Try something else. Okay, off my soapbox. So the 3 tips on the kind of posts for your profile. Again, this is outside of your Facebook group. This is more the broadcast style where you're sharing your story, telling people what you do, putting out your offers. This is about you. So the first step is obviously come up with a schedule. I think 3 times a week is plenty, is a great place to start. If that feels overwhelming, just do once a week. But every day, if you're already doing every day and that feels good and easy and you've got it scheduled, great, do it. But if you feel like you need to post every day and you're not, and that feels daunting, don't let yourself go, right? Don't post every day. I don't think that's effective, and it's going to burn you out way faster, right? So if you feel like being consistent means posting every day and it's not, and your posts are already not converting, doing more of that thing is not going to magically fix that problem, right? To me, it is about a different strategy. You need different eyeballs. You need a different strategy. So let's talk. Okay, so schedule. Number 2 is what to post, right? So many people get stuck in this, oh my God, what do I post? What do I post? What do I post? If you're really struggling with what to post, I would definitely start here. Start with this 30-30-30 rule, right? Many of you have probably heard this if you've been in the marketing industry for any number of years. It's a great place to start, right? I don't think it's a place to stop. But a great place to start is think about, if you're thinking about 3 posts a week, this would be the thirds, right? 30-30-30. So the first could be motivational. So this could be your story. This could be sharing a quote. This could be something inspiring. If you wanted to share another post, right? Think about something inspiring or motivational. Second kind of post would be educational. So this is where you give some value, teach a lesson, share something that you've learned along the way. This could even be a client, a case study. You could do a testimonial too here, but something more educational, right? So you want to think about what you can offer. If you have a blog, this is a great place to share a blog, talk about the blog, do a short form post of the blog, whatever that looks like, or just share your story, right? That can be educational too. And then the third piece, and only a third, I think, should be promotional. So often I see this a lot where people get in this promotional cycle, right? It's either too much or too little, quite honestly. You're either in one boat or the other. I don't see often that there's a good balance of not promotional and promotional. Granted, this is your business. You should absolutely be promotional, but there are different ways besides, hey, here's my offer, here's my offer, here's my offer, here's my offer. That can get old really quickly, and more often people are not seeing that to begin with, right? I say this, that you could have 1,000 followers and not one person is seeing your post, right? That is dependent on the algorithm. So this is why the Facebook group and a different strategy matters, because if you are dependent on the algorithm and it changes tomorrow, there goes your method, right? There goes all that hard work. Now you've either got to start over or figure out a little bit different way, or this is when most people think that something is wrong with them, right? Posting more makes women feel like they're not enough. We don't need more messages out there that women are not enough, right? We already feel that ourselves in our household, in our other jobs, in our home life, right? You are enough. You are enough. You don't need to make yourself feel like you're not enough by trying to post more, right? That's exhausting and that's going to burn you out very quickly. So the algorithm, right? If the algorithm changes, you've got to have a backup plan, right? You need a different plan because the algorithm changes every day, I feel like, right? You're never going to figure it out. And those bros over in Silicon Valley are never looking out for you and me, right? They are not designing the algorithm for our little businesses. So we've got to have a different plan, right? And that's where I think relationships come in. And that's where I think building that community. Okay, so then the third tip for outside content, this would be on your page, your profile, is some type of call to action. I see this so much. So many people say, no one is engaging in my profile. Honestly, most people don't know how to engage. Tell them what to do, right? Either ask a question at the end of your post. I would argue ask the question at the beginning of your post because most people are not reading your entire long form story, right? Unfortunately, I'm really sorry. Most people are not reading those long form posts. Some people are, and that's great, but I would always encourage you to put a question at the top and then tell your story and then put the question at the bottom, or some type of call to action. If you have a call to action that says DM, this word and I'll send you my freebie or something like that, put it at the top of your caption as well as the bottom, because if people don't get down far enough, they may not see that call to action. But tell people what to do. Tell people how to respond to your posts, right? If you're sharing a story, what else are people supposed to say other than cool, like it, oh my God, you're amazing, love this, right? It's really hard for people to know how to respond, especially, I heard this, right? Most adults read at a second grade level. It's got to be simple. And I would argue, even if you have a higher vocabulary, whatever, and you read at a higher level, when you're scrolling, you definitely revert back to a second grade level, right? Nobody is looking for, lengthy posts and, some people like to read all that, but definitely as you're scrolling, people are not going to stop typically on something that's hard. Or if they read it and they're like, oh, that makes me think, but I don't know how to respond. They're going to keep scrolling, right? You've got about half a second to grab their attention, make it easy. Do you agree? Okay, I know how to respond. 100% agree, don't agree, whatever. Then people can expand on that. But ask a question or give a call to action. To me, that is the quickest way to get engagement. So definitely on your social media profile, those are the three tips. And this is more of a broadcast, right? This is where you're talking about you, yourself, your business. So definitely come up with some type of schedule. 3 a week is plenty to start with. If you're doing every day, great. And it's not daunting or it's not overwhelming you, great, keep it up. If once a week is all you can do, by all means, let yourself be okay with once a week and focus on other ways until it gets converting. That would be the trick. Number 2, 30, 30, 30. Think about motivational, educational, and promotional. Those are great 3 to start with. And then the third tip is a call to action. So include some type of question, DM me this, comment with this word below, some type of call to action. Tell people how to interact, how to engage with your content. Okay, now my favorite part, this Facebook groups, right? Content inside your Facebook group. So again, to me, outside your Facebook group, profile, page, all of that is more of a broadcast. That is more about you, your business, what you offer, your story, right? That's definitely more about you. Inside your Facebook group, this is different. This is about your audience. I always say inside your Facebook group, this is much more like a party. You want to treat it like a party. Nobody wants to show up to the host of a party, show up to a party and the host is just talking about herself again, right? It's not the Christina show inside my party, right? Inside my Facebook group, I want to get my community interacting and engaging and talking with each other. This is where you want to start discussions. And the easiest way to do that is, number one, ask questions. Ask questions, right? And we talked about this for outside content as well, but inside, I would argue just have a question. I think the color block posts that are just on Facebook, that just have a color background and then just text, large text, to me, those are the biggest converting because you can plainly see it. If it's a question I got opinions on, I'm gonna respond. It's a quick, easy way to get engagement. So this is the challenge, right? What do you ask questions on? And I always like to push back on this. When you think about posting, are you thinking about telling them something or asking them something, right? You could do this outside your Facebook group as well, but inside your Facebook group, especially, this is about your audience. It's not always about you. Of course, you can share some stories about you and what you offer and all of that, but it should not just be an extension of your social media profile. People know where to go if they want to know what you do. They can click on your name, they can go to your profile, that is more about you. Your business page, that is about you. Inside your Facebook group, this is your community. This is where you are getting people to talk to each other about whatever it is you want them to talk about, right? But you want to ask questions, get them talking about finances, get them talking about wellness, get them talking about their health, get them talking about menopause, get them talking, ask questions. You can ask questions about their symptoms. You can ask questions about how do they feel about this. You can ask questions about, what they like. Do they prefer this or that? And here's the other amazing piece of Facebook group. This is another reason to have a Facebook group. Especially if you are new, if you are still figuring out what offer or service is going to resonate with your customer, inside your Facebook group, this is where you can do polls. You can ask the question, hey, I'm thinking of doing this workshop. Who would be interested? If I could help you, right, get 5 to 10 leads every day, would you be interested? That's a question. If I had this freebie, which of these freebies would you prefer? And do a poll. Ask questions in order to figure out what your customers need. Which symptom is most for you right now, right? Which pain point is really hitting home? Who's struggling with this right now? Right? Those would all be great questions to ask your audience to figure out where they're at. What words resonate, right? One person might call it this and you've been calling it this other thing this whole time, but you're talking about the same thing. Figure out what words resonate. Figure out what services and what offers they really need. You have the solution, but you may just not be speaking the same language for them to understand. Or they might not even understand that they have that problem, right? You know they have the problem and you're already at the solution. They don't even know they have the problem yet. Ask questions. So that is the first tip for content inside your Facebook group. Ask questions. This is how you're going to get engagement. And the second, I think, easiest way to get engagement started in your Facebook group is to use the @everyone tag. Tell me below how you feel about @everyone. To me, I think it's the easiest thing, and I don't mind if other groups use it. I don't care if people tag me. It might show up in my notifications. If I'm not interested, I scroll past, right? That is like the biggest myth out there. That is the biggest, right, debate out there. If you don't like someone tagging you, scroll past. If you don't like content, scroll past. If it really bothers you that they tag everyone just to help their business, I mean, for one, right, I prefer to help you. I prefer to support you. If I see that you tag me and I'm interested, I'm going to go to that post and I'm going to like it and hopefully comment, right? Support each other. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal if someone uses the @everyone tag. It doesn't bother me. So to me, if you feel like that's something you've been holding back, where you don't want to use the @everyone tag because you don't want to bug people, that says more about where you're at in your sales mentality, right? I get it. It's scary. Nobody wants to be salesy. Nobody wants to be sold to. But I feel like as women, we often err on the side of, okay, I don't want to bug anybody. Hey, I've got this business, but just in case you're interested, here I am. Whenever you're ready, here I am, hiding. No, you are far more powerful than that. You can go to them, tag @everyone. They probably, if they're not responding, they probably forgot. If they are interested and they're in your group, they probably forgot all about your group because they joined 10 other groups that same day, right? If they haven't seen your posts, It's not because they're not interested. They didn't see your posts. They forgot all about you. They have 400 million other things on their mind. They forgot all about you. They still need you. They still need your perspective. They still need your service. Tag at everyone. Okay, so I would always say tag at everyone. You can use it once per day inside your group. Take advantage of it. Use this in the comments of a post. So again, the question posts, I love doing just the color block question posts, and I schedule it out for the whole month because I want you to be focused on relationships, not content. So if it were all scheduled for you and all you had to worry about is hanging out in the comments, seeing who's coming in your group, and hanging out over in the DMs, wouldn't that be great? Just following up. If all you had to do all day was just follow up and not worry about content, wouldn't that be amazing? That's where I want you to focus, not on content, on building those relationships, because that's where sales are going to happen. That's where clients are going to be made. So use the at everyone tag in the comments. So if you have a question post, then in the comments, you yourself can comment on your post, start the comment train, and tag at everyone. I always like to ask the question a little bit differently. So if in the main post it was, who's struggling with movement this week, right? Or exercise? Who's struggling with meal planning this week, right? That's something I'm always struggling with. Who's struggling with meal planning? And then in the comments, you could say, at everyone, what's for dinner tonight? Or what's on your menu this week? Or, ask it in a little bit different way, because when you tag at everyone and they click on that notification, it will take them to the comment before it will take them to the post. So ask it in a little bit different way. They can always click view post, right? But if they don't know what it's about and you've just tagged at everyone, they're like, I don't know. So they might move on. So ask it in a little bit different way in the comments at everyone. Use at everyone. I'd love to hear what you think about that. All right, and then the third tip for inside your Facebook group is promote your business, right? Often, again, like I said, there are two schools of thought, and most people are on two different extremes. They're either over promoting and only promoting their business, or they're not promoting their business at all, right? They're doing more lifestyle posts. They're doing more maybe just interacting, but not promoting their business. So I always like to promote your business in some type of question. Inside your Facebook group, again, this is your party. This is not the Christina show. This is inside your Facebook group, more about your community. But you still want to find a way to promote. This is your business, right? You want to still find a way to talk about your business. So I like to use some type of question. If I could help you with blank, would you be interested? I just did this workshop. Who wants the link? I'm offering a free audit on blah, blah, blah. Who's interested, right? Give people a question, right? Ask if they want it. Don't just say, here's my program. This is how much it costs, right? Ask a question. That's instead of telling them, think about asking them. So that is the third tip. So 3 tips, again, just to recap, inside your Facebook group. The first one is ask questions. Ask questions, color block questions. You can schedule it out for a whole month. I always like to have a running set of weekly questions that I ask the same things every week. And this is a great place to use ChatGPT. Again, I would encourage you to only use a 2nd grade level in order to write these questions, right? Get them talking and make it fun. You don't have to just talk about your business. Make it fun. Get them engaging. Ask questions. All right, number 2, use the at everyone tag and use it in the comments once per day inside your Facebook group. And number 3 is don't forget to promote about your business. If you're already promoting way too much, then stop promoting about your business inside your Facebook group. But if you have erred on the other side and are only asking fun, engaging questions, think about asking a question about promoting your business inside your Facebook group. Most of us leave our business page for talking all about us and our business, right? So most of the time we're doing plenty promotion outside your Facebook group. So inside your Facebook group, this would be reserved for getting to know your audience, engaging, starting discussions, getting to know them, figure out what their problems are and how you can help them. All right, so that is pretty much it for engagement. Hopefully that answered some of your questions on how to get more engagement on both outside your Facebook group, on every other social media profile, and inside your Facebook group. To me, those are 2 different strategies and two different kinds of posts and 2 different ways to get engagement. So I'd love to hear what stuck out for you. What were your 2 action items? I would love to hear. You can always message me separately. Again, don't waste yours like I did, right? If you feel like this is something you're stuck on, if you feel like you have heard me talk about these these strategies before and you still are just having a hard time coming up with specific questions for your group, this is where I love getting really creative. I think I can really come up with some ways to start asking your questions, right? Start asking your audience to get them in the mindset of whatever problem you're solving. Let's figure out what their symptoms are. Let's figure out what their pain points are. Let's figure out what words resonate. So if you feel like that is something you could use some help on, just say strategy below. Or if you already have that Facebook group and you are ready to deep dive into my 5-step framework, I can send you those videos, and it is the VIP challenge. Just say VIP below. It's just $27. Again, you get each of my 5-step framework videos, and then we talk about each video and how to apply it to your specific business. We do all of this over in Messenger, so it's really easy to do at your own pace, very laid back, right? Completely not on a schedule. You can do it on your own time frame. And right, we both respond when we can over in Messenger and just figure out how to apply each of those steps to your business. So it's a great place to reinvigorate your Facebook group if you feel like you have a dead one, or if you want to get started and you haven't, or you're thinking about starting a Facebook group. It's a great place to get started and get that moving. Awesome. Again, right, you're not meant to do this alone. I spent years, right, thinking that I had to DIY it myself. DIY is the slowest way to fail or succeed, right? But more often, if you're going to fail, wouldn't you want to get there quicker and then pivot, right? And I never consider a failure, right? I think we always learn from everything. But wouldn't you want to get there faster, right? So the biggest thing that I've learned is that coaches use other coaches. So definitely learn from those who have gone before you. Don't waste years like I did. If you're looking for predictable leads every single day to your business, again, just say VIP if you're interested in that challenge, or if you just want to audit, right? I always start with a free call where we just talk about what is working and what's not working. We can figure out the gaps in your business and maybe where there is some broken pieces. That it's not that you're doing everything wrong, right? By all means, you are obviously doing a lot of things right. You are here, you are wanting to learn. You probably have a lot of the pieces, but it may not be that all those pieces are working together. So that's where we can really look. And sometimes it takes someone with a 30,000 foot view, right? We can get so deep in the weeds of our own business that we don't see those gaps. We don't see where the missing link is, right? We don't see that we haven't connected this to that or whatever. It really takes, I think, an outside perspective to look at your entire business and give you a comprehensive view of your whole marketing strategy to make sure all those pieces that you created are working cohesively together into one system that gets you leads every day. So if you're interested in any of that, again, just say VIP, or you could say strategy. I would love to reach out. Thanks so much for sticking around.